الرؤوف الرحيم. وصلى الله تعالى على حبيبه ونبيه صلى الله عليه وسلم. أما بعد، فقد قال الله تبارك وتعالى في كتابه المجيد بعد أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. وقال ربكم ادعوني أستجب لكم إن الذين يستكبرون عن عبادتي سيدخلون جهنم داخرين. وقال النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم الدعاء سلاح المؤمن وعماد الدين ونور السماوات والأرض، أو كما قال النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقه قولي. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. Hope everyone is doing well. So, my dear respected brothers and sisters, yesterday we were discussing Bani Israel, the favors Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala had blessed Bani Israel with. So today, inshallah, we will continue this discussion, starting from ayah number 71, from أَفَتَطْمَعُونَ. So nevertheless, بعد أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم أفتطمعون أن يؤمنوا لكم وقد كان فريق منهم يسمعون كلام الله ثم يحرفونه من بعد ما عقلوه وهم يعلمون. Now addressing Muslims. أفتطمعون, O Muslims, do you have hope these people will believe, referring to as Yahud? أفتطمعون أن يؤمنوا لكم وقد كان فريق منهم يسمعون كلام الله ثم يحرفون من بعد ما عقلوا وهم يعلمون. Now, Kuffar of Makkah, excuse me, no prophet was sent to them. They did not have any book. So Muslims thought, they hoped that these Yahud, they are more likely to accept this beautiful religion of Islam. Why so? Because Musa a.s. was sent to them and Daura was sent to them. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, أَفَتَطْمَعُونَ يُؤْمِنُونَ. Do you have hope that these people will believe? What had happened before? وَقَدْ كَانَ فَرِيقٌ مِّنْهُمْ يَسْمَعُونَ كَلَامَ اللَّهِ ثُمَّ يُحَرِّفُونَ. There were people amongst them, they would listen to the words of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Not only would they listen, ثُمَّ يُحَرِّفُونَهُ, they would make changes according to their needs. مِن بَعْدِ مَا عَقَلُوا وَهُمْ يَعْلَمُونَ. وَإِذَا لَقُوا الَّذِينَ آمَنُوا قَالُوا آمَنَّا. Now the same situation here as we discussed 2 days prior of munafiqeen, right? These people, when they were with Muslims, they would say amanna. We believe in you, we believe in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, we believe in what you are saying, we believe in Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. وَإِذَا خَلَوْا إِلَى شَيَاطِينِهِمْ. But when they would go back to their leaders, they would say, no, that was nothing but a lip service, we are with you in reality. These people doing the same thing. وَإِذَا لَقُوا الَّذِينَ آمَنُوا قَالُوا آمَنَّا. Yahud, when they would be with Muslims, some of them, when they would be with Muslims, they would say, Amanna, we believe in you. وَإِذَا خَلَا بَعْضُهُمْ إِلَى بَعْضٍ قَالُوا أَتُحَدِّثُونَهُمْ بِمَا فَتَحَ اللَّهُ عَلَيْكُمْ لِيُحَاجُّوكُمْ بِهِ عِنْدَ رَبِّكُمْ أَفَلَا تَعْقِلُونَ. Now, some of them, when they would go to Muslims, and when Muslims used to recite Quran, they would say, you know what, we have found this exact information in Torah. The exact same thing, we find it in Torah. Now, when these same people, when they would go back to their ru'asa, their leaders would question them that, why are you telling them these things? Why are you telling them these things? لِيُحَاجُّوكُمْ بِهِ عِنْدَ رَبِّكُمْ. You're giving them a reason. You're giving these Muslims a reason. Tomorrow they will say, Ya Allah, they knew the truth, but they turned away. So don't do this. أَفَلَا تَعْقِلُونَ. Don't you know? أَوَلَا يَعْلَمُونَ أَنَّ اللَّهَ يَعْلَمُ مَا يُسِرُّونَ وَمَا يُعْلِنُونَ. Don't these people know, then again not doing word for word translation, don't these people know that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is not oblivious? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is fully aware, fully equipped. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala knows what these people conceal and what they make apparent. وَمِنْهُمْ أُمِّيُّونَ لَا يَعْلَمُونَ الْكِتَابِ إِلَّا أَمَانِيَّ وَإِنْهُمْ إِلَّا يَظُنُّونَ فَوَيْلٌ لِلَّذِينَ يَكْتُبُونَ الْكِتَابَ بِأَيْدِيهِمْ ثُمَّ يَقُولُونَ هَذَا مِنْ عِنْدِ اللَّهِ لِيَشْتَرُوا بِهِ ثَمَنًا قَلِيلًا فَوَيْلٌ لَهُمْ مِمَّا كَسَبَتْ أَيْدِيهِمْ وَوَيْلٌ لَهُمْ مِمَّا يَكْسِبُونَ وَقَالُوا لَنْ تَمَسَّنَا النَّارُ إِلَّا أَيَّامًا مَعْدُودَةً قُلْ أَتَّخَذْتُمْ عِنْدَ اللَّهِ عَهْدًا فَلَنْ يُخْلِفَ اللَّهُ عَهْدَهُ أَمْ تَقُولُونَ عَلَى اللَّهِ مَا لَا تَعْلَمُونَ. Now these people amongst them, وَمِنْهُمْ أُمِّيُّونَ, people who could not write and could not read. لا يعلمون الكتاب, they did not know the book. Which book? Daura. إلا أمانية, wishful thinking. Wishful thinking. وإنهم إلا يظنون. And what was their thinking? And I will get to this, inshallah. I will explain this as well. فويل الذين يكتبون الكتاب بأيديهم ثم يقولون هذا من عند الله ليشتروا به ثمنا قليلا. Unfortunately, it is sad to say, you have Muslims like this today as well, coming up with their own sharia, coming up with their own masail, just so they can earn some penny, just so they can earn some wealth. And may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala save us from this. Why are they doing this? Allahu Akbar. We'll get to this in ayah number 86. أولئك الذين اشتروا الحياة الدنيا بالآخرة. But these people, this is what they would do. Right? Had no knowledge of the book, had no knowledge of what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala had mentioned in Daura, had no knowledge of what was going on. It was just their wishful thinking, according to whatever came to their mind. Right? And they would write it up and then sell it. فَوَيْلٌ لَهُم مِّمَّا كَتَبَتْ أَيْدِيهِمْ وَوَيْلٌ لَهُم مِّمَّا يَكْسِبُونَ. And what was their these people used to think that Daura was brought to us. Okay, so we were good. Musa alayhi salam was sent to us. Alhamdulillah, we are on the straight path. We're on the right track. Now we are. Now we have Islam. Now we have Islam. So what is going to happen is that now that we have Islam, or now that we had, or they had Daura in the beginning, that we are good. We are safe. And even if somehow because of our mistakes we end up in Jahannam, we end up in the wrath of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, لَن تَمَسَّنَا النَّارُ إِلَّا أَيَّامًا مَعْدُودَةً. The fire of Jahannam will only touch us for a few days. We will only be in Jahannam for a few days. We can bear it. We can tolerate this. We can tolerate this. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala responds by saying, قُلْ أَتَّخَذْتُمْ عِنْدَ اللَّهِ أَحَدًا. Really? Have you taken a covenant? Has Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala made any promises with you? فَلَنْ يُخْلِفَ اللَّهُ وَعْدَهُ. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala does not go against His promises. أَمْ تَقُولُونَ عَلَى اللَّهِ مَا لَا تَعْلَمُونَ. It's just that you are saying, you're speaking from your right pocket, speaking from your left pocket, just saying whatever comes to your mind. That's what you're saying. بَلَا مَنْ كَسَبَ السَّيِّئَةً وَأَحَاطَتْ بِهِ خَطِيئَتُهُ فَأُولَٰئِكَ أَصْحَابُ النَّارِ هُمْ فِيهَا خَالِدُونَ. Here, another thing that we have to understand. مَنْ كَسَبَ السَّيِّئَةً. See, this person who has only done one bad deed, right? سَيِّئَةٌ واحد. وَأَحَاطَتْ بِهِ خَطِيئَتُهُ فَأُولَٰئِكَ أَصْحَابُ النَّارِ هُمْ فِيهَا خَالِدُونَ. Now, a lesson for us as well is that a lot of times, excuse me for that. A lot of times people think and people say that I'm not engaged, I'm not involved in too many sins. For example, I'm not involved in drinking, I'm not involved in gambling, I'm not involved in this, I'm not involved in too many things, I'm just involved in one thing. But little does this person know that one thing, he is so in depth and so involved in that one sin, وَأَحَاطَتْ بِهِ خَطِيئَتُهُ, that what happens is that this sin overpowers and overshadows all of your good deeds. Right? This is then again a sickness of the heart. This is our sickness it is a virus that we have to eradicate, that we have to decimate. Right? People think that, I'm just doing this one deed. Right? I'm just doing this one deed. I'm just doing this one bad deed. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will forgive me. But then little do we know that because of that one deed, we are so indulged and so engaged in that one sin that it has overpowered all the good that we do. Now, moving on to the next ayah number 82. وَالَّذِينَ آمَنُوا. See, this is the mercy of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Wherever Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala speaks of His mercy, He speaks of His punishment. Wherever Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala speaks of His punishment, right after He speaks of His righteous people and their blessings. وَالَّذِينَ آمَنُوا وَعَمِلُوا الصَّالِحَاتِ أُولَٰئِكَ أَصْحَابُ الْجَنَّةِ هُمْ فِيهَا خَالِدُونَ. Those people who believed, and they perform righteous deeds. أُولَٰئِكَ أَصْحَابُ الْجَنَّةِ. They are the residents, the civilians of Jannah. Hum fiha khalidun. Now, one thing we have to understand here, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying here, وَالَّذِينَ آمَنُوا وَعَمِلُوا الصَّالِحَاتِ. Having iman isn't only enough. This is what we have to understand as well. The performing of good deeds is also a condition. The performing of good deeds is also a condition. وَالَّذِينَ آمَنُوا وَعَمِلُوا الصَّالِحَاتِ أُولَٰئِكَ أَصْحَابُ الْجَنَّةِ. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala did not say وَالَّذِينَ آمَنُوا أُولَٰئِكَ أَصْحَابُ الْجَنَّةِ. Those who have iman are the residents of Jannah. No. وَالَّذِينَ آمَنُوا. Those who believed. وَعَمِلُوا الصَّالِحَاتِ. After believing, you perform righteous deeds. So then again, excuse me, having iman is not enough, right? A'mal salihah are also included. وَإِذْ أَخَذْنَا مِيثَاقَ بَنِي إِسْرَائِيلَ لَا تَعْبُدُونَ إِلَّا اللَّهَ. Then again, reminding Bani Israel, reminding these people, وَإِذْ, remember the time, أَخَذْنَا مِيثَاقَ بَنِي إِسْرَائِيلَ لَا تَعْبُدُونَ إلا الله وبالوالدين إحسانا وذي القربى واليتامى والمساكين وقولوا للناس حسنا وأقيموا الصلاة وآتوا الزكاة ثم توليتم إلا قليلا منكم وأنتم معرضون. Right? Another covenant. Don't associate any partners with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, number one. So this is حقوق Allah. And now moving on to حقوق العباد وبالوالدين إحسانا. So we understand the biggest deed after حقوق Allah that a person can perform is his kindness to his parents. وَبِالْوَالِدَيْنِ إِحْسَانًا وَذِي الْقُرْبَى, your close relatives. وَالْيَتَامَى وَالْمَسَاكِينَ وَقُولُوا لِلنَّاسِ حُسْنًا, and tell people and invite them towards good and say good things to them. وَأَقِيمُوا الصَّلَاةَ, establish salah. Then again, going back to حقوق Allah. See, we have to understand there are two types of حقوق on us, right? حقوق Allah and حقوق العباد. And Allahu Akbar. Ulama have mentioned that on Yawm al-Qiyamah, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will uplift, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will even forgive حقوق Allah of some people. I'll get to this, I'll say it again. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala on Yawm al-Qiyamah will forgive حقوق Allah of some people. What is حقوق Allah? حقوق Allah are those deeds that are linked between yourself and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. For example, your salah, you pray for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, you don't pray for anyone else. Your umrah, you perform umrah for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, you don't perform that for anyone else. Your hajj, you perform that for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, you don't perform that for anyone else. Your sawm, you perform that for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, you don't perform that for anyone else. And who is the one to compensate you? None other than Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So these are your حقوق Allah, okay, that you have to take care of, that every insan, every Muslim has to take care of. And then you have your حقوق العباد, right? Taking care of your family, taking care of your neighbors, right? And the scary thing here is that today we feel very comfortable. We have the safe cushion, and we say, you know, Alhamdulillah, I'm not neglecting anything from حقوق Allah. I make sure that all my salah is done. I make sure everything is done. I make sure my sawm, I've never missed a fast. I make sure I give my zakah. I make sure I perform hajj. I make sure I've performed umrah. Nothing, I haven't missed anything. But little do we know we are missing a lot from حقوق العباد. We are not taking care of the rights of people. And this is why Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam said, أَتَدْرُونَ مَنِ الْمُفْلِسِ? O my Sahaba, O my companions, do you know who a bankrupt person is? Look at the response of Sahaba radiallahu anhu ajma'in. الْمُفْلِسُ فِينَا مَنْ لَا دِرْهَمَ لَهُ وَلَا مَتَاعٍ. Ya Rasulullah, a muflis, a bankrupt person, is he who doesn't have any wealth, doesn't have any money, doesn't have any dirham, doesn't have any dollars, doesn't have any rupees, doesn't have anything, right? He is a muflis person, a bankrupt person. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, nope, he is not a Muslim. He is not the most bankrupt person. The most bankrupt person is he who will come on Yawm al-Qiyamah with mountains of good deeds. MashaAllah, this person has never missed a single salah, he has performed his hajj, never missed a single sawm, never missed a single fast, did everything, read Quran, memorized Quran, taught Quran to others, MashaAllah, so many good deeds, right? But he will come in a state, what state? وَأَكَلَ مَالَ هَذَا. He has consumed this person's wealth. What else is he doing? What else did he do in this world? شَتَمَ هَذَا. He hit that person. ضَرَبَ هَذَا. He hit that person. Blamed that person. قَذَفَ هَذَا. He blamed this person. Accused someone of something. Right? And then what will happen? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will say to this person that, you know what? Today is Yawm al-Jaza, as we discussed earlier. Yawm al-Din. Right? فَمَنْ يَعْمَلْ مِثْقَالَ ذَرَّةٍ خَيْرًا يَرَى وَمَنْ يَعْمَلْ مِثْقَالَ ذَرَّةٍ شَرًّا يَرَى إِنِّي جَزَيْتُهُمُ الْيَوْمَ بِمَا صَبَرُوا جَزَاء. Yawm al-Jaza. right? So they will be compensated. And what will be their compensation? It won't be in dollars. For example, you snatched someone's wealth, right? In thousands of dollars, right? On Yawm al-Qiyamah, the value of the currency will be amal. Okay, so you've taken 1,000. Okay, so you know what? Equivalent, because our deeds, they will not be counted, they will be weighed, right? So equivalent to the weight of the $1,000, you know what? Give him this many good deeds. And then Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, if this person, when his deeds run out, these people are still waiting, they're still in line. What will happen is that their bad sins will be given to this person, and thereafter he will be thrown into the fire of Jahannam. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala protect us all. Ameen. Right? So let us not have this safe cushion on our sides by saying, Alhamdulillah, I'm taking care of huquq Allah. Let us not forget huquq al-ibad. Huquq al-ibad. And I said, it's very sad, and it's very sad to say, and I feel bad saying this as well, non-Muslims take care of huquq al-ibad more than Muslims. When in reality, Muslims, we understand we are the best of nations. Ummah of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. We are supposed to take care of huquq al-ibad more than any other nation. So may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give us the understanding of this. So these are the few things that they were asked to do. وَأَقِيمُوا الصَّلَاةَ وَآتُوا الزَّكَاةَ, establish, give zakah. ثُمَّ تَوَلَّيْتُمْ إِلَّا قَلِيلٌ. Then majority of you turned away. Majority of you turned away from this. إِلَّا قَلِيلٌ. Except very few. وَأَنْتُمْ مُعْرِضُونَ. And this is your second nature. You are those who turn away. Right? Qalil. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala uses the word qalil here. SubhanAllah, there was one person at the time of Umar radiallahu anhu. He used to make this dua, Allahumma ja'alni min ibadika al-qalil. Or Allahumma ja'alni min al-qalil. Ya Allah, make me amongst those who are very few in number. So Umar radiallahu anhu, he was shocked. He said, Min ayna atayta bihada dua? Where did you get this dua from? I didn't find this dua anywhere. From Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Where did you get this dua? So that person said, Ya Umar, don't you know Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentions in the Quran, وَقَلِيلٌ مِنْ عِبَادِيَ الشَّكُورِ. Very few amongst my slaves are grateful to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So I make this dua to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Ya Allah, Allahumma ja'alni min al-qalil. Ya Allah, make me amongst those few who are grateful to you. So I make this dua, and I advise all of you to make this dua as well. Allahumma ja'alna min al-qalil. Allahumma ja'alna min al-qalil. Allahumma ja'alni min al-qalil. Ya Allah, make us amongst qalil. Make us amongst qalil. وإذ أخذنا ميثاقكم لا تسفكون دماءكم ولا تخرجون أنفسكم من دياركم ثم أقررتم وأنتم تشهدون ثم أنتم هؤلاء تقتلون أنفسكم وتخرجون فريق منكم من ديارهم تظاهرون عليهم بالإثم والعدوان وإن يأتكم أسارى تفادوهم وهو محرم عليكم إخراجهم أفتؤمنون ببعض الكتاب وتكفرون ببعض فما جزاء من يفعل ذلك منكم إلا خزي في الحياة الدنيا ويوم القيامة يردون إلى أشد العذاب وما الله بغافل عما تعملون. Now, as we understand, there were two tribes in Medina, two Jewish tribes, right? Banu Qurayza and Banu Nadir. These two tribes, and on the other hand, you had two tribes of Mushrikeen, Kuffar of Makkah. They were Aus and Khazraj. Now, Aus was allies of Qurayza, Khazraj was allies of Nadir. So Nadir and Khazraj, they were allies. Qurayza and Aus, they were allies. Okay? Now, whenever Aus and Khazraj went to war, these two nations, these two tribes, Qurayza and Nadir, they were obliged. They were forced to come in as well. Right? As we understand what happened in World War I, England went to war, and then Canada had nothing to do with it, but Canada had to go to war as well, right? And other countries joined as well, allies, right? So they had to go to war as well, and as a result, they would kill one another. Little did they know, this was another covenant. وَإِذْ أَخَذْنَا مِيثَاقَكُمْ لَا تَسْفِكُونَ دِمَاءَكُمْ وَلَا تُخْرِجُونَ أَنفُسَكُمْ مِنْ دِيَارِكُمْ. Two things so far right now, right? No bloodshed. Don't kill one another. وَلَا تُخْرِجُونَ أَنفُسَكُمْ مِنْ دِيَارِكُم. Don't kick one another out, right? ثُمَّ أَقَرَّرْتُمْ وَأَنْتُمْ تَشْهَدُونَ. They believed in this. They said, yes, we will abide by this. We will follow this. ثم أنتم هؤلاء تقتلون أنفسكم وتخرجون فريق منكم من ديارهم. Complete. Then again, see, as Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, وأنتم معرضون. Right? Second nature. This is in your nature, actually. Right? To go against your own words. Then again, here going completely, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has told them, this is the covenant, don't kill and don't kick one another out. Started doing this again. Banu Nadir is fighting Banu Qurayza again. وَإِنْ يَأْتُوكُمْ أُسَارَى تُفَادُوهُمْ وَهُوَ مُحَرَّمٌ عَلَيْكُمْ إِخْرَاجُهُم. And then, see, look. One thing we have to understand, my dear respected brothers and sisters, I apologize for that. No matter what we do, we can't outsmart Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Right? No matter what we do, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is aware of everything. مَا يَعْزُبُ عَنْ رَبِّكَ مِن مِثْقَالِ ذَرَّةٍ. Nothing is hidden from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. What is happening now, these people, when they would come back to them as captives, they would free them. What was their third command? That if one of you is a captive, go and free him. Go and free the prisoners amongst you. Right? So they would go to prisoners, or whenever prisoners would come to them, they would free them. And they would say, look, we are acting upon this. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, أَفَتُؤْمِنُونَ بِبَعْضِ الْكِتَابِ وَتَكْفُرُونَ بِبَعْضِ. You have overlooked and you have forgotten لَا تَسْفِكُونَ دِمَاءَكُمْ. You forgot this, okay. وَلَا تُخْرِجُونَ أَنفُسَكُمْ مِنْ دِيَارِكُمْ. You forgot this as well. But when it comes to وَإِنْ يَأْتُوكُمْ أُسَارَى تُفَادُوهُمْ وَهُوَ مُحَرَّمٌ عَلَيْكُمْ إِخْرَاجُهُمْ. You are freeing them, but had you not kicked them out, you wouldn't have to free them. Right? Kicking them out, this was made haram. وَهُوَ مُحَرَّمٌ عَلَيْكُمْ إِخْرَاجُهُمْ. Why did you kick them out in the first place? Right? أَفَتُؤْمِنُونَ بِبَعْضِ الْكِتَابِ وَتَكْفُرُونَ بِبَعْضِ. This is referring to us, my dear respected brothers and sisters. Right? It is sad to say that today we treat Islam like a grocery store. Right? You go to the grocery store, you walk inside. Today you feel like having Wonder Bread. You take Wonder Bread. The next day you feel like having whole wheat. You take whole wheat. You leave that bread. Right? You want brown eggs, you take brown eggs. You want white eggs, you take white eggs. Right? This is exactly what's happening with us today. Right? Islam is not like this, my dear respected brothers. We can't just choose. You can't just do eeny, meeny, miny, mo. And today I like this. Tomorrow I like this. I will believe in some. I will believe in. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has cleared everything. He has clarified everything. أُدْخُلُوا فِي السِّلْمِ كَافَّةً. Right? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has said, "Udkhulu fi silmi." Enter into Islam, kafa, entirely, with all of its sharia. Right? Whatever is halal, it's halal. Whatever is haram, it is haram. It is simple. And then again, may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala protect us as well. If this, and to satisfy our nafs, right? This is one dua that we need to make as well. That Ya Allah protect me from min aynin la tadma, from an eye which does not cry, and wa min nafsin la tashba, from a nafs which is never satiated, never satisfied. Right? When we are not satisfied, when we hear something, when we hear a masala, we understand that this, it's not working out for us. What do? We go for fatwa shopping, right? Fatwa shopping. We look for different ways to make that thing halal for us. Right? Now then again, I have no enmity against anyone. I have nothing but love for all the viewers and all the listeners and all the participants. Right? For example, those ayahs that I refer to as, when it comes to the dealing of interest, right? We take those fatwas, we hear those fatwas at first that say, interest, don't go to interest. It is haram, it is haram, it is haram. Then what do? Our nafs are not, our nufus, we are not satisfied. Right? Our nafs is not satisfied. Then we go to other scholars and we try our best to make it halal. And the same goes for Allahu Akbar, so many other things. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala protect us. وَيَوْمَ الْقِيَامَةِ يُرَدُّونَ إِلَىٰ أَشَدِّ الْعَذَابِ وَمَا اللَّهُ بِغَافِلٍ عَمَّا تَعْمَلُونَ. Don't try to cheat Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Don't try to deceive Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is not heedless. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is well aware. وَيَوْمَ الْقِيَامَةِ يُرَدُّونَ إِلَىٰ أَشَدِّ الْعَذَابِ. For them is a severe punishment. أُولَٰئِكَ الَّذِينَ اشْتَرَوُا الْحَيَاةَ الدُّنْيَا بِالْآخِرَةِ فَلَا يُخَفَّفُ عَنْهُمُ الْعَذَابُ وَلَا هُمْ يُنْصَرُونَ. These are those people who chose to adapt the life of this world over the life of akhirah. And you have some people, it's sad to say, Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam said, a sound hadith, authentic hadith, that a time will come, a person will be a Muslim in the morning, a mu'min in the morning. By evening, he'll be a kafir, disbeliever. In the evening, he'll be a mu'min, a believer. By the morning, he will be a disbeliever. Why? يَبِيعُ دِينَهُ بِعَرَضٍ مِنَ الدُّنْيَا. He will sell his religion for this wealth, to attain a portion. My dear respected brothers and sisters, إِنَّا هَدَيْنَاهُ النَّجْدَيْنِ إِنَّا هَدَيْنَاهُ السَّبِيلَ إِمَّا شَاكِرًا وَإِمَّا كَفُورًا فَهَدَيْنَاهُ النَّجْدَيْنِ. As Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, "O insan, we have given you two options." Right? There are amongst you who are grateful, and there are amongst you who are ungrateful. Now that is your choice. You wish to be grateful, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will compensate. You wish to be ungrateful to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and subhanAllah, this is a blessing of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, "O my slaves, if you are grateful to me, لَأَزِيدَنَّكُمْ, I will surely, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala uses ta'keed here, emphasis, I will surely increase for you. And on the other hand, if you are ungrateful, إِنَّ عَذَابِي لَشَدِيدٌ, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, my punishment is severe. Right? Indeed, my punishment is severe." So my dear respected brothers and sisters, when we are grateful to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala uses ta'keed over ta'keed over ta'keed, emphasis upon emphasis, saying that I will compensate, I will increase for you. And when it comes to those who are ungrateful, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala only says, my punishment is severe. So this is a great blessing of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, my dear respected brothers and sisters. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give us the understanding of this. Ameen. Moving on, وَلَقَدْ آتَيْنَا مُوسَى الْكِتَابَ وَقَفَّيْنَا مِنْ بَعْدِهِ بِالرُّسُلِ وَآتَيْنَا عِيسَى ابْنَ مَرْيَمَ الْبَيِّنَاتِ وَأَيَّدْنَاهُ بِرُوحِ الْقُدُسِ أَفَكُلَّمَا جَاءَكُمْ رَسُولٌ بِمَا لَا تَهْوَى أَنفُسُكُمْ Allahu Akbar. بِمَا لَا تَهْوَى أَنفُسُكُمْ اسْتَكْبَرْتُمْ فَفَرِيقًا كَذَّبْتُمْ وَفَرِيقًا تَقْتُلُونَ. Right? Now, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, we understand, after sending Musa alayhi salam, this was not done. Many other prophets were sent. وَقَفَّيْنَا مِنْ بَعْدِهِ بِالرُّسُلِ. Many prophets were sent with continuity, right? Continuously, after another, one after the other. And then thereafter, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala sent Isa alayhi salam, which we will discuss inshallah later on. Now, whenever prophets came to them, whenever they said something to them, if it wasn't to their liking, they would have pride. They would become arrogant, right? Now, it's sad to say. Then again, it's very sad to say. We can see this as we can see this in Muslims today as well. When we like something, we will follow it, right? Whenever we find something which is halal, which is completely going with Islam, but it's not according to our liking, we would say, yeah, it's too hard for me to abide to this. It's too hard for me to follow this. That's why I won't do it. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala protect us from this as well. وَقَالُوا قُلُوبُنَا غُلْفٌ بَلْ لَعَنَهُمُ اللَّهُ بِكُفْرِهِمْ فَقَلِيلًا مَا يُؤْمِنُونَ. What was their excuse? What did they say in return? وَقَالُوا قُلُوبُنَا غُلْفٌ. Our hearts are sin-proof. We are very pure. And ulama have also mentioned that ghulf here means that the first meaning could be, our hearts are very pure. Pure, we don't know anything. You know how you have some people today, they say, I'm so pure. Did it really happen? I don't do this. I don't get involved in backbiting, mashallah. I don't do this. Then again, not judging anyone, right? قُلُوبُنَا غُلْفٌ. The second meaning of غُلْف is there is a veil on our hearts, there is a parda, there is a cloth over our hearts, on our hearts. Whether you tell us something or not, we will not accept it. That is the second meaning of غُلْف. Now, here's the thing as well. It is sad to say that people, those people, they say, our hearts are very pure, our hearts are, they're evil proof, they're hasad proof, they're malice proof, they're enmity proof. Little do we know, my dear respected brothers, I say something different. Our hearts are not evil proof, our hearts are not hasad proof, rather our hearts have become tabligh proof. Right? Our hearts have become tabligh proof. And I'm not talking about the tabligh when someone comes to the door, knocks on the door 3 times, and then they I'm talking about all forms of tabligh, right? Which is Quran. listening to something, listening to a bayan, listening to tafsir, listening to seer, all forms of tabligh, right? All forms of tabligh. Unfortunately, our hearts have become tabligh proof. And Abdullah bin Abbas, he has said something really beautiful. He said, check your heart. Find your heart in three places, right? And we have to understand the role our heart plays in our life, in our lives, right? As Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam has said, there is a piece of flesh in you. There is a piece of flesh that you have, that you possess. If that piece of flesh is okay, your entire body is okay, right? But if that piece of flesh is not sound, it is not okay, then your entire body is not okay, right? So how do we check our hearts now, right? We have to understand there are two things here now, right? Spiritual heart and our physical heart, right? How do we check the spiritual heart? Abdullah bin Abbas, he's mentioned something really beautiful, right? Three places. Check your heart. عند سماع القرآن. Listen to Quran. Does it affect your heart? Does it affect your heart or not? Right? أفلا يتدبرون القرآن أم على قلوب أقفالها. Are the hearts locked up? Right? Check the heart. If your heart is inclined, if you want to listen to Quran, see if you feel comfortable, if you are satisfied. When Quran is being played, does your heart tremble? If it does, it's a good sign. If it doesn't, it's a bad sign. We'll get to that right now. Number two, عند مجالس الذكر. Gatherings of dhikr. What type of dhikr now? Any gathering in which we talk about the greatness of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, in which we talk about deen. So this could be gatherings of tafsir, this could be gatherings of sirah, it could be bayanat as well. عند مجالس الذكر. If you feel comfortable listening to those speeches, alhamdulillah. If you don't feel comfortable, there's a problem, right? Number three, in isolation, in solitude. See yourself. Do you want to get out of that isolation? That isolation is a chance for you to build your relationship, to strengthen your bonds with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Do you feel comfortable at that time? If you do, alhamdulillah. If you don't, then now here's the thing. Listen to this. Abdullah bin Abbas says, if you don't feel comfortable in these three places, ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for a new heart, because verily your heart has died. Your heart has died. And this is something, my dear respected brothers, we really need. Now this is for brothers and this is for sisters as well. We really need to check ourselves, check our hearts, check ourselves and analyze, examine, right? Al-kayyisu man dana nafsa. A smart person is he who examines himself, right? Examine yourself, see yourself, analyze yourself. When I read Quran, do I feel comfortable? When I go to the masjid, for males or females as well, when I go to the masjid, am I comfortable there, or am I more comfortable when I'm playing a game of basketball? Right? Do I feel comfortable going to the masjid, or do I feel comfortable going to school where I can see girls and I can speak to boys and girls and there is an open environment and I feel very comfortable there, right? So these are the three places where we need to check our hearts. Moving on, وَلَمَّا جَاءَهُمْ كِتَابٌ مِّنْ عِنْدِ اللَّهِ مُصَدِّقٌ لِمَا مَعَهُمْ وَكَانُوا مِنْ قَبْلُ يَسْتَفْتِحُونَ عَلَى الَّذِينَ كَفَرُوا فَلَمَّا جَاءَهُمْ مَا عَرَفُوا كَفَرُوا بِهِ فَلَعْنَةُ اللَّهِ عَلَى الْكَافِرِينَ. Now, these same people who had Daura, they would go to Kuffar of Makkah, and they would tell them that a prophet would come, and they would tell them that Quran will be revealed. وَكَانُوا مِنْ قَبْلُ يَسْتَفْتِحُونَ عَلَى الَّذِينَ كَفَرُوا. They would tell them different things. And now, فَلَمَّا جَاءَهُمْ مَا عَرَفُوا كَفَرُوا بِهِ. When all of this turned into reality, when a prophet, when Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam came, when Quran came, فَلَمَّا جَاءَهُمْ مَا عَرَفُوا كَفَرُوا بِهِ. They went against it. Then again, this is their nature, going against what they say, against what they do. فَلَعْنَةُ اللَّهِ عَلَى الْكَافِرِينَ. Right. This is another thing that we have to understand, my dear respected brothers and sisters. Having knowledge isn't enough. Having knowledge isn't enough. Knowledge with application is required. Your knowledge is completely useless if you don't apply that knowledge, right? As it comes in hadith. الناس كلهم هلكا. Every insan, all people, all of mankind will perish except إلا العالمون. Right? I will clarify this inshallah throughout Ramadan as well. So do not be alarmed. إِلَّا الْعَالِمُونَ, except those who have knowledge. Right? Except those who have knowledge. وَالْعَالِمُونَ كُلُّهُمْ هَلْكَ, even those who have knowledge, they will be destroyed. إِلَّا الْعَامِلُونَ, except for those who apply what they know. وَالْعَامِلُونَ كُلُّهُمْ هَلْكَ, all those who apply what they know, they will be destroyed as well, except for those إِلَّا الْمُخْلِصُونَ, except for those who are sincere. وَالْمُخْلِصُونَ عَلَى خَطَرٍ عَظِيمٍ, and even those who are pure, who are sincere, they have to watch their backs. They have to be careful in their intentions as well. Right? So just having knowledge isn't enough. Application, knowledge, application with ikhlas. This is what is required, my dear respected brothers. Excuse me. بئس ما اشتروا به أنفسهم أن يكفروا بما أنزل الله بغيا أن ينزل الله من فضله على من يشاء من عباده فباءوا بغضب على غضب وللكافرين عذاب مهين. Then again, I will get to this. وَلِلْكَافِرِينَ عَذَابٌ مُهِينٌ. In this ayah, there is mercy of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala as well, subhanallah, that we find when you go into the depths of this ayah. Now, here, two things that are happening. A, they went against Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, disbelieving in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, right? Number two, a form of jealousy. Jealousy that why did Rasulullah sallallahu, they, as I mentioned earlier, Bani Israel used to think they were the best of people. Best of people, we're on the right track, no one can, we're untouchable, no one can beat us, this and that, and etc. We're the best of people, we're the best of people, right? فَضَّلْتُكُمْ عَلَى الْعَالَمِينَ, we're the best of people. A little jealous. Now jealousy is coming in. Why was the Prophet sent to the Arabs, right? The Prophet was sent to Arabs. Not only this, they have Quran, which they have Quran. Now we were given Torah, now everyone is saying follow the Quran. The Prophet is saying follow the Quran. The Muslims are saying follow the Quran. Jealousy, and what else do they have? Disbelief, right? So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, فَبَاءُوا بِغَضَبٍ عَلَى غَضَبٍ. Ghadab, anger upon anger. A, you are disbelieving. Number two, having jealousy. Being jealous that a prophet was sent to him, and furthermore, not believing in him. غَضَبٍ عَلَى غَضَبٍ وَلِلْكَافِرِينَ عَذَابٌ مُهِينٌ. For disbelievers, there is a disgraceful punishment. Now, Allahu Akbar. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala uses the word عَذَابٌ muhin for a disbeliever. But for a believer, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has said عَذَابٌ shadid, right? For Muslims. Now here's the thing, well, we have to understand. When Muslims go to the fire of Jahannam, right, they will be faced with a severe punishment. When non-Muslims are entered into Jahannam, they will have a severe punishment, but not only a severe punishment, a disgraceful punishment, right? Disgraceful punishment and a severe punishment. That punishment will be there to disgrace them, right? For muhin, dhilla. Now, when it comes to Muslims, they will not be punished. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will not disgrace them, but rather they will be punished so they can be purified and then given access to Jannah. Right? So this is the difference between the two. Severe punishment for them, a punishment for them as well. For believers, punishment, and disbelievers, punishment. But their punishment is a means of disgrace as well. But this disgrace is only for disbelievers, it is not for believers. Then again, a mercy of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. وَإِذَا قيل لهم آمنوا بما أنزل الله قالوا نؤمن بما أنزل علينا ويكفرون بما وراءه وهو الحق مصدقا لما معهم قل فلم تقتلون أنبياء الله من قبل إن كنتم مؤمنين. الله أكبر. Another thing which does not make any sense to these people, subhanallah, right? So, Allahu Akbar. Now these people, they would say, we only believe in Daura. Now just listen to this, listen to their logic as well, and follow their actions. They're saying, pay attention to their actions, what they're doing. They would say, we only believe in Torah and we don't believe in anything else. Okay? We will not believe in anything else. We believe in Torah. This is our book and that is it, and that is final. So in response to that, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala questions them. فَلِمَ تَقْتُلُونَ أَنْبِيَاءَ اللَّهِ مِنْ قَبْلِ إِن كُنتُم مُؤْمِنِينَ. Okay, fine. You say you believe in Torah, then why on earth, why did you kill so many prophets? These prophets were sent to them to teach them Torah, right? You're saying you only believe in Torah. These prophets were sent to you to teach you Torah, so why did you kill these prophets? وَلَقَدْ جَاءَكُمْ مُوسَى بِالْبَيِّنَاتِ ثُمَّ اتَّخَذْتُمُ الْعِجْلَ مِنْ بَعْدِهِ وَأَنْتُمْ ظَالِمُونَ. Musa alayhi salam came to them with how many signs? This ayat, 9 signs. And yet again, they went against Musa alayhi salam. And they started worshipping the calf. وإذ أخذنا ميثاقكم ورفعنا فوقكم الطور خذوا ما آتيناكم بقوة واسمعوا قالوا سمعنا وعصينا وأشربوا في قلوبهم العجل بكفرهم قل بئس ما يأمركم به إيمانكم إن كنتم مؤمنين. Now these people, there's a great lesson for us, my dear respected brothers and sisters, in this ayah. A lesson of Tawbah, right? Now Musa alayhi salam went back to them. The calf is destroyed, right? Now they were asked to do tawbah to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, do sincere tawbah to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Now because they were forced to do tawbah, they are saying sami'na wa asayna now. Okay? We listen to you, we have heard, but we are not really able, we can't fully worship Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala the way He is ought to be worshipped. Right? وَأُشْرِبُوا فِي قُلُوبِهِمُ الْعِجْلَ بِكُفْرِهِمْ. Because they were still that worship, the worship of that calf was still in their hearts, and because of this they were not able to fully worship Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala the way He is ought to be worshipped. Right? Meaning they kept going back. Their hearts were inclined. Musa alayhi salam is telling them to worship Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, to turn back to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, but these people, they're still inclined towards that. Right? Now here's the thing, coming back to sincere tawbah as well. My dear respected brothers and sisters, when we make sincere tawbah, one of the conditions of making sincere tawbah is that you have remorse over your action. These people, they did not have any remorse over their actions. Right? They worshipped the calf, nothing. To them it was nothing. Right? And then, here's the thing, my dear respected brothers and sisters. One of the conditions for having tawbah is that a person makes this intention that I will not return to that. Right? I will not return to that. And then inshallah his tawbah gets accepted. If it's sincere tawbah. Right? Along with one or two other conditions. Now, what happens with us is that let's say we do something. Right? We do something. We commit a crime, we commit a bad deed. Now, the love and the attraction of that bad deed has not left our heart. We are still inclined towards it. How can we expect Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to forgive us in this state? In order for us to be forgiven, we have to say that, Ya Allah, that one specific deed, that deed that I was doing, that you are seeking forgiveness from. Ya Allah, that one deed that I used to commit, Ya Allah, I make, inshallah, firm intention that I will not return to that bad deed. Right? Now, being insan, obviously insan, we are forgetful. Now, however, if a person makes that mistake, that is between him and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. He makes tawbah again. That is different. But when a person does not feel bad for committing that action, that means his tawbah is not sincere. Right? You want to apologize to someone, for example, you've done something wrong to someone. You really want to apologize to him, but in your heart you're saying, you know what, I was actually right. So I was actually right for my actions. I can back up my action. But you're saying, I'm sorry. Is that a 100% sound apology? Is that apology right? Ask yourself, who are you deceiving? No one but yourself. Your apology isn't right. So similarly, this tawbah isn't right. If you still have attraction, if the love of that sin, and you're not able to let go of that sin, right? Similarly, these people were not able to let go of the worship of this calf, and as a result, they were punished. قُلْ بِئْسَ مَا يَأْمُرُكُمْ بِهِ إِيمَانُكُمْ إِن كُنتُم مُؤْمِنِينَ. The next ayah now. قُلْ إِن كَانَتْ لَكُمُ الدَّارُ الْآخِرَةُ عِنْدَ اللَّهِ خَالِصَةً مِنْ دُونِ النَّاسِ فَتَمَنَّوُا الْمَوْتَ إِن كُنتُمْ صَادِقِينَ وَلَنْ يَتَمَنَّوْهُ أَبَدًا بِمَا قَدَّمَتْ أَيْدِيهِمْ وَاللَّهُ عَلِيمٌ بِالظَّالِمِينَ. SubhanAllah. Now these people, then again, they used to say that Akhirah is for us. We are the caretakers, we are the shareholders of Akhirah. Akhirah is made for us. Only we will be there. No other nation has access to akhirah, to Jannah, to the bounties and the blessings of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, this is a challenge of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And subhanAllah, look at the challenge of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. فَتَمَنَّوُا الْمَوْتَ إِن كُنْتُمْ صَادِقِينَ. Okay, you know what? Ask for death. If you're saying akhirah is made for you, if you are saying you are going to reap the rewards of akhirah and akhirah is only made for you, ask for death. Take this challenge. Ask for death. وَلَن يَتَمَنَّوْهُ أَبَدًا بِمَا قَدَّمَتْ أَيْدِيهِمْ. Now these people know because of their actions what they have done, they would never ask for death. They know it. They're never going to ask for death. وَاللَّهُ عَلِيمٌ بِالظَّالِمِينَ. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala knows what is in store for them. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala knows their intentions. وَلَتَجِدَنَّهُمْ أَحْرَصَ النَّاسِ عَلَى حَيَاتٍ. Now from here, from this ayah, all the way until ayah number 98. Now I won't read this ayah. Those who have Qur'ans open, they can follow along from وَلَتَجِدَنَّهُمْ أَحْرَصَ النَّاسِ على حياة ومن الناس ومن الذين أشركوا, all the way until فإن الله عدو للكافرين. Jibreel alayhi salam would go to Yahud. Now Yahud, these people, they built this animosity. They had this animosity towards Jibreel alayhi salam. They would say Jibreel alayhi salam used to bring such harsh commandments to us. Based on this, because of this, we have built this animosity. We have this animosity towards him, right? Why don't you ask Mikael? Ask Mikael alayhi salam why is Jibreel alayhi salam responsible for bringing down revelation to you? Ask Mikael alayhi salam to descend. Ask Mikael alayhi salam to reveal these revelations, to bring wahi. Mikael alayhi salam is responsible for rain, right? He's more merciful to their claim. Ask Mikael. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala clarifies this, that these people, man kana aduwwan lillahi, those who have animosity towards Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, who have ill feeling towards Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, wa malaikatihi, and his angels, wa rusulihi, and his prophets, wa Jibreel, clarifying, Jibreel alayhi salam, wa Mikala, and Mikail alayhi salam, فَإِنَّ اللَّهَ عَدُوٌّ لِلْكَافِرِينَ. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will wage Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is against you. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is against you. If you go against any one of them, if you go against Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He is against you. If you go against His angels, if you have animosity towards His angels, He is against you. If you go against His prophets, He is against you. If you go against Jibreel alayhi salam, He is against you. If you go against Mikail alayhi salam, He is against you. وَلَقَدْ أَنزَلْنَا إِلَيْكَ آيَاتٍ بَيِّنَاتٍ وَمَا يَكْفُرُ بِهَا إِلَّا الْفَاسِقُونَ أَوَكُلَّمَا عَاهَدُوا وَحْدًا نَبَذَهُ فَرِيقٌ مِّنْهُمْ بَلْ أَكْثَرُهُمْ لَا يُؤْمِنُونَ وَلَمَّا جَاءَهُمْ رَسُولٌ مِّنْ عِندِ اللَّهِ مُصَدِّقٌ لِمَا مَعَهُمْ نَبَذَ فَرِيقٌ مِّنَ الَّذِينَ أُوتُوا الْكِتَابَ كِتَابَ اللَّهِ وَرَاءَ ظُهُورِهِمْ كَأَنَّهُمْ لَا يَعْلَمُونَ. As I mentioned earlier, my dear respected brothers and sisters, not doing word-for-word translation. We are just, as our goal, inshallah, for this entire month is to finish all 30 ajza, covering each and every single ayah of Quran, going into full depth. My dear respected brothers and sisters, it would take our entire life. That is the depth and that is the beauty of this Quran. We are just highlighting key things here, inshallah. Now, starting from here, وَاتَّبَعُوا. Now, I've just read this. وَاتَّبَعُوا مَا تَتْلُو الشَّيَاطِينُ عَلَى مُلْكِ سُلَيْمَانَ. From here, another discussion starts. Now, these people, they made magic halal for us, for halal for them, jaiz for them, permissible for them. What was the reason for them? They used to say, Na'udhu billah, Sulaiman alayhi salam was used to practice sorcery. He was a sorcerer. He used to practice magic. Not only this, his followers used to practice magic as well. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala clarifies by saying, وَمَا كَفَرُوا سُلَيْمَانُ وَلَكِنَّ الشَّيَاطِينَ كَفَرُوا يُعَلِّمُونَ النَّاسَ السِّحْرَ. Jinns used to teach people magic. And then thereafter, jinns and these people would say, Sulaiman alayhi salam used to do magic as well. And to their understanding, that's how this was their safe cushion. It is okay for us to learn magic. Sulaiman alayhi salam, na'udhu billah, he was a magician as well. He used to practice magic, sorcery. So nevertheless, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, وَمَا أُنزِلَ عَلَى الْمَلَكَيْنِ بِبَابِلَ هَارُوتَ وَمَارُوتَ وَمَا يُعَلِّمَانِ مِنْ أَحَدٍ حَتَّى يَقُولَا إِنَّمَا نَحْنُ فِتْنَةٌ فَلَا تَكْفُرْ. Now Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala sent 2 angels to them, Harut and Marut, to Babel. It is a place where a lot of magic was being done. So these two angels. Now there are many other stories I'm pretty sure that you have heard, and I do not wish to go into the details of those as not all of them are accurate. As some scholars have also said, those people who have or who say different stories or who mention different stories about Harut and Marut, and then again, I don't want to get into the details. They are indeed lying. Ulama have declared them, those people who mention stories about Harut and Marut, different narrations, Allahu Alam, as liars, right? So just touching the surface, these two angels were sent and they would advise people, they would tell people not to practice this, they would tell them not to practice magic, right? Just simply touching the surface, that's all we're doing. Now from here, starting from the next ruku, ayah number 104, يَا أَيُّهَا الَّذِينَ آمَنُوا لَا تَقُولُوا رَاعِنَا وَقُولُوا انظُرْنَا وَاسْمَعُوا وَلِلْكَافِرِينَ عَذَابٌ أَلِيمٌ. Now these Yahud, when they would go to Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, see, then again, thinking they could outsmart Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, thinking and knowing they can outsmart Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, but these people do not know. Allahu ya'lamu ma yusuruna wa ma yu'linun. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is well aware. They would go to Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam and they would say Ra'ina. Ra'ina in Arabic, one of the meanings of Ra'ina in Arabic also means have leniency. Be lenient with our matters. Ra'ina, one of the meanings, right? Now, but in Hebrew, it is a curse. So in reality, they're not saying, Ya Rasulullah, have leniency or be lenient in our matters. They're saying, they're, na'udhu billah, cursing Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, thinking that they can get away with this. Whenever they would go back, they would laugh that we went to Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam when we're saying, Ra'ina, Ra'ina, right? So now Muslims were advised that, you know, because these people would say Ra'ina. Now when Muslims would say Ra'ina as well, these people would laugh, the Yahud would laugh. Right? Muslims, obviously, they had no ill intentions, but these people, they had ill intentions because na'udhu billah, they were cursing Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala clarifies this by saying, Ya ayyuhalladhina amanu, all those people who have believed, la taqulu ra'ina, don't say ra'ina from now on. وَقُولُوا انظُرْنَا وَاسْمَعُوا وَلِلْكَافِرِينَ عَذَابٌ أَلِيمٌ. Now the next ayah, in ayah number 105, I will not read this. Now then again, another form of jealousy kicks in. Another hasad. Right? Yahud, they would wish for Muslims to turn back. They would wish for the Muslims to turn back to being disbelievers. Right? So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala responds by saying, وَاللَّهُ يَخْتَصُ بِرَحْمَتِهِ مَنْ يَشَاءُ. Wallahu dhul fadl al-azim. This is a blessing of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Now this is then again understanding. See, then again we were talking about how, earlier we were discussing a form of jealousy kicked in, that why was a prophet sent to the Arabs, right? Another form of jealousy here as well. Muslims given honor, they have the Quran now, and another form of jealousy kicking in. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, my mercy, I give my mercy, and I am the one who gives preference to others above others. This is my choice, right? A lesson for us is that now some of us are given more wealth than others. ذَلِكَ فَضْلُ اللَّهِ يُؤْتِيهِ مَن يَشَاءُ. This is a fadl of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. He gives it to whomsoever He wishes, right? There is no need to be jealous. Someone has, it's because of this. And as إِيَّاكُمْ وَالْحَسَدِ, abstain from hasad, abstain from jealousy. Why? Because jealousy eats up your good deeds, right? Someone has more wealth than you. Excuse me. Someone has more wealth than you. People are faced with jealousy. How come Allah? And then na'udhu billah, they start to question Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. They start to question the distribution of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. They start to question the portions of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that the portion Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given to His ibad. Ya Allah, why did you give him more? Why don't you give me? And then they tend to blame themselves. Ya Allah, because I'm like this, I don't have much. Ya Allah, because I'm like this, I don't have much. Ya Allah, because I'm like this, you didn't give me this. And na'udhu billah, they tend to question Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. They tend to question the distribution of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Someone has a beautiful, and I've seen this in so many different things, so many different aspects as well. Someone has a beautiful voice. People are jealous. No, that person has jealous. He's got such a beautiful voice. Oh, I wish I had a nice voice like him. Someone Allah Subhanahu wa Taala has blessed him with knowledge. Wow, that person is so knowledgeable. I wish I had that type of knowledge. What does he do? Why does he have that type of knowledge? Someone drives a fancy car. Wow, look at that Beamer. Look at that Merc. Amazing. Why can't I have the same? Why can't I live in luxury, right? ذَلِكَ فَضْلُ اللَّهِ يُؤْتِيهِ مَن يَشَاءُ. There is no need to be jealous. This is the fadl of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Just know that person lives in a mansion, you live in a house. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given him preference over you. You live in a house, the other person lives in a hut. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given you preference over that person, right? But don't look at those who have more than you. Always look at those who have less than you. Now another thing, another ayah, ayah number 106, moving on to the next ayah. ما ننسخ من آية أو ننسها نأتي بخير منها أو مثلها ألم تعلم أن الله على كل شيء قدير. Referring to the changing of the qibla. That not a single ayah, not a single sign is abrogated except Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala exchanges it or changes it with something far better, far greater. These people started questioning, right? Yahud and Nasara, they started questioning this verdict of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, this judgment of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, that the Qibla was Bayt al-Maqdis. Okay, the Qibla was Bayt al-Maqdis. Now all of a sudden, why did Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala change the Qibla to Kaaba? Why is this happening? Right? Why is this happening? Now, this is what they questioned, right? Now, another thing, the next ayah, moving on to ayah number 109. وَدَّ كَثِيرٌ مِنْ أَهْلِ الْكِتَابِ لَوْ يَرُدُّونَكُمْ مِنْ بَعْدِ إِيمَانِكُمْ كُفَّارًا حَسَدًا مِنْ عِنْدِ أَنفُسِهِمْ مِنْ بَعْدِ مَا تَبَيَّنَ لَهُمُ الْحَقُّ فَاعْفُوا وَاصْفَحُوا حَتَّى يَأْتِيَ اللَّهُ بِأَمْرِهِ إِنَّ اللَّهَ عَلَى كُلِّ شَيْءٍ قَدِيرٌ. This is the ayah, that I was saying that talks about their jealousy. Right? وَدَّ كَثِيرٌ مِنْ أَهْلِ الْكِتَابِ لَوْ يَرُدُّونَكُمْ مِنْ بَعْدِ إِيمَانِكُمْ كُفَّارًا. That these people would turn back after being Muslims. حَسَدًا مِنْ عِنْدِ أَنفُسِهِمْ مِنْ بَعْدِ مَا تَبَيَّنَ لَهُمُ الْحَقُّ. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says these people are jealous now. Right? فَاعْفُوا وَاصْفَحُوا. Abstain for them. Forgive them. حَتَّى يَأْتِيَ اللَّهُ بِأَمْرِهِ. Leave their matter to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. إِنَّ اللَّهَ عَلَى كُلِّ شَيْءٍ قَدِيرٌ. Another lesson for us, my dear respected brothers and sisters, is that if someone is going against you, right? Someone is going against you, you know that it could be your relatives, it could be your friends, it could be Allahu Adam, it could be someone going against you, right? Someone who taunts you, someone who makes fun of you, someone who criticizes you day and night. فَاعْفُوا وَاصْفَحُوا. فَاعْفُوا وَاصْفَحُوا. Right? This is something that we need to adapt to. This is something that we need to bring into our lives. Right? When Rasulullah forgiving others, when Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, when he entered Mecca, when Mecca was conquered, the Meccans asked, Ya Rasulullah, what are you going to do with us? What are you going to do with us, Ya Rasulullah? SubhanAllah, these are the same people because of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam used to say, Ya Makkah, you know me, I would never leave you had it not been for my people. That is the love Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam had for Makkah. It is because of these people he ended up leaving Makkah in the first place and migrated to Medina. Imagine them, right? There was a time when they had the upper hand. Now Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam has the upper hand in Makkah. Ya Rasulullah, what are you going to do with us? Oh my people, oh my brothers, I'm going to tell you, I have those words, the same words Yusuf alayhi salam used for his brothers. لا تثريب عليكم اليوم. لا تثريب عليكم اليوم. You have no fault. When you have no fault, getting into the description, inshallah we'll delve into this when we get into Surah Yusuf. لا تثريب عليكم اليوم. You haven't done anything wrong, so there is no forgiveness for you. Right? One of the meanings of لا تثريب عليكم اليوم. So then again, فَعْفُوا وَاصْفَحُوا. Forgive one another for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Leave their matters to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. إِنَّ اللَّهَ عَلَى كُلِّ شَيْءٍ قَدِيرٌ. Another claim that these people used to have, 111, وَقَالُوا لَنْ جنة إلا من كان هودا أو نصارى تلك أمانيهم قل هاتوا برهانكم إن كنتم صادقين. They used to say only. So Yahud used to say we will enter into Jannah, Nasara used to say we will enter into Jannah. That's it, right? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala responds by saying, تِلْكَ أَمَانِيُّهُمْ, that is your wishful thinking. قُلْ هَاتُوا بُرْهَانَكُمْ إِن كُنْتُمْ صَادِقِينَ. Okay, bring forth your dalil, bring forth your dalail. You have any proof that only Christians and only Yahud and only Nasara will go to Jannah after the hereafter is made for them only, right? If you have any هَاتُوا بُرْهَانَكُمْ, if you have any source, if you have any solid proof, bring forth. إِن كُنْتُمْ صَادِقِينَ. بلى من أسلم وجهه لله وهو محسن فله أجره عند ربي ولا خوف عليهم ولا هم يحزنون. Right. Another thing, another key thing we have to understand from this ayah, my dear respected brothers and sisters, right? This is the quality that they had, that only I get to go into Jannah, or only that person gets to go into Jannah. Jannah is for me, Jannah is for me, Jannah is not for anyone else. It is sad to say this is, a quality that Muslims have today as well. Us as Muslims today, it's sad to say that we give fatwas of kufr, and we put the stamp of kufr on so many Muslims across the globe. Like I said, leave their matter to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, who has given you the authority to claim whether that person is a kafir or not, right? We say, this only we will go to Jannah, Jannah is for us, that person, no, he's a kafir. And that creates more problems, my dear respected brothers and sisters. Right, saying that person, just looking down upon others, deriding others, mocking others. You're not praying right. Obviously, then again, this is teaching others with hikmah. Teaching others with hikmah. Inshallah, we'll elaborate this. وقالت النصارى ليست اليهود على شيء. Then again, another thing, right? Nasara are saying Yahud, they're not on the right track. وقالت اليهود ليست النصارى على شيء. Yahud are saying Nasara are not on the right track. وقالت النصارى ليست اليهود على شيء. Nasara are saying Yahud are not on the right track. وهم يتلون الكتاب كذلك قال الذين لا يعلمون مثل قولهم فالله يحكم بينهم يوم القيامة فيما كانوا فيه يختلفون. Right? Don't just delve in complete. One thing. Then again, والذين آمنوا وعملوا الصالحات. Right? Who are the dwellers of Jannah? Those who believe in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, thereafter perform righteous deeds, right? You take care of huququllah, you take care of huququl ibad by Allah, that is enough for you. Don't delve into more things. That person is not on the right track, only this person is not right, that person is not right. Someone asked me about, I won't say his name, one of the scholars, who is a famous speaker on YouTube. Someone asked me about him. He said, and he said, what are your thoughts on him? As you say, should I listen to him? Is he a kafir? Is he a Muslim? I said, Allahu Akbar. I said, you guarantee my Jannah, that I am destined to go to Jannah, then I will talk about the Jannah of others. You guarantee me that I am guaranteed Jannah, then I will say, that person can go to Jannah, that person will not go to Jannah, this person, his religion is like this, don't follow him. I said, when I am not sure myself if my deeds in the eyes of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala are acceptable. See, this is our biggest mistake. We think what we do is acceptable. That is our biggest mistake. We think, subhanAllah, little do we know, the salah that we pray, the umrah that we go for, the hajj that we go for, the hajj that we perform, the zakah that we give, the sadaqah that we give, by Allah, you may give $1,000, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will burn all that. فَعَالُ لِمَا يُرِيد. You are not to question Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala does whatever He wants. Right? Not saying that He will, but I'm saying there's a possibility that we think today that no matter what we do, anything that we do, our a'mal are accepted, and they're accepted, and we are very valuable in the eyes of Allah. Our a'mal are very valuable in the eyes of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. No, we don't know that, right? So let others, you don't need to delve into this. Whether his iman is correct or not, leave his matter. فَاللَّهُ يَحْكُمُ بَيْنَهُمْ يَوْمَ الْقِيَامَةِ. Leave their matter to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. What their iman, how do they affect you? This is our biggest mistake, my dear respected brothers. We today, we have become the caretakers of deen. Whatever we're doing, we're on the right track. That's it. No one can touch us. We're untouchable. Leave their matter to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. فَاللَّهُ يَحْكُمُ بَيْنَهُمْ and بَيْنَكُمْ. Right? Leave their matter to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Moving on to the next ayah. وَمَنْ أَظْلَمُ مِمَّنْ مَنَعَ مَسَاجِدَ اللَّهِ أَنْ يُذْكَرَ فِيهَا اسْمُهُ وَسَعَى فِي خَرَابِهَا. Allahu Akbar. Another thing, now I won't read the entire ayah. I'll just read the second portion of this ayah. لَهُمْ فِي الدُّنْيَا خِزْيٌ وَلَهُمْ فِي الْآخِرَةِ عَذَابٌ عَظِيمٌ. Actually, I'll finish until وَلِلَّهِ الْمَشْرِقُ وَالْمَغْرِبُ فَأَيْنَمَا تُوَلُّوا فَثَمَّ وَجْهُ اللَّهِ إِنَّ اللَّهَ وَاسِعٌ عَلِيمٌ. Now here, what happened was, as I mentioned earlier, the Yahud, this was something they could not digest, right? Moving away. Qibla was towards Bayt al-Maqdis. Now the Qibla changed. This is something that they could not comprehend. Their minds could not comprehend. They could not digest this. And they started saying that, they would go to Muslims and they would say, you know what, it changed. It shouldn't be like this. It shouldn't be like this. And as a result, see, this is their scheme. The scheme was that by doing so, no one would go to the masjid. And now, when no one is going to the masjid, the masajid are going to be vacant, empty, right? وَاسْتَعَى فِي خَرَابِهَا. Making sure the masajid are empty now, right? Stopping people from going to the masjid, stopping people from basically the right path, right? Through their words. It's not to say that today, Allahu Akbar, you have Muslims, right? Then again, I'm not against anyone. I'm not against anyone. I'm just, they're just saying, قُلِ الْحَقُّ وَلَوْ كَانَ مُرًّا. Say the truth even if it is better, right? So I'm not here to say, see, having both, hope and fear, right? So when I praise the Ummah of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, when I praise, mashallah, alhamdulillah, we are on the right track, alhamdulillah, but at the same time, we have flaws within ourselves, right? We have few holes within ourselves which we have to fix, right? There's a person who, someone said this to me actually. So there was a person who came from Pakistan, came to the States, moved from Pakistan, came to the States, and he was looking for a masjid. So he went to one of the brothers and he said, where can I find a masjid? SubhanAllah, the response of that brother was quite astonishing. He said, you came all the way from Pakistan to the States to pray Jummah here? You came all the way here to pray Jummah? You came all the way here to pray Jummah? Live the American dream. And this is, SubhanAllah, it's sad to say that these are the same people who are stopping others from coming into the masjid, right? Little do we know, when we say, and it's quite sad, we say, when you go to Pakistan, live according to them. You're in the States, live according to the States, how they want you to live your life. When you're in Canada, live according to Canadians, adopt the Canadian culture and the Canadian lifestyle and this and that, eat poutine, drink maple syrup, etc., and all that stuff. When you're in France, and then again, not saying anything wrong about eating food. I'll clarify myself. Adapt their lifestyle. Do this. And they say, adopt the lifestyle of wherever you are now, right? So, for example, in the States, if you are wearing a hat, you go to India, you go anywhere else. Majority of people don't wear hats, so be like them. The question that I ask to these people, little do they know, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala clarifies this, and He has clarified this in the Quran. أَلَيْسَ أَرْضُ اللَّهِ وَاسِعَةٌ. Is the earth of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala not spacious? Is it not vast? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala uses the word here, أَرْضُ اللَّهِ, the earth of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Little do we know, American soil belongs to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Canadian soil belongs to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. China belongs to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Every land, لِلَّهِ مَا فِي السَّمَاوَاتِ وَمَا فِي الْأَرْضِ. They all belong to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He is the same Allah whether you live in China or Japan. He is the same Allah whether you live in America or you live in Pakistan. He is the same Allah whether you live in Canada or you live in Mexico. Right? So you are on His turf. You are on His terms. You are on His land. So you have to live your life according how Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wants you to live your life. Right? Ardullah. Always remember this. Ardullah. Right? And subhanAllah, another one story came to mind. There was one person, then again referring to as masjid, right? As we find here, وَمَنْ أَظْلَمُ مِمَّنْ مَنَعَ مَسَاجِدَ اللَّهِ. Masajid Allah. masjid of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, right? And I'll get into this as well. A lot of us, subhanAllah, we think by being the president of the masjid, see, my job here is to, inshallah, patch up our holes and to fix our holes, right? Inshallah. I'm not going against anyone. Right, a lot of us, whether it be male or female, when we are made the president or the vice president of the masjid, we think we are owners of the masjid. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala clarifies this as well. وَأَنَّ الْمَسَاجِدَ لِلَّهِ فَلَا تَدْعُ مَعَ اللَّهِ أَحَدًا. Right? These masajid, you don't own them, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala owns them, right? So let us not think that just by we have this tag on ourselves that we make sure this person can come into the masjid. We have something, we like this person, we will let him come into the masjid. We don't like that person, he can't come into the masjid. Who has given you authority? You don't own this house, so try not to be the owner of that house, please. It is quite sad, when you have youngsters, they've had a past, they wish to come inside the masjid. Those same youngsters who have earrings, the same youngsters who have tattoos, they come inside and subhanAllah, you have the old uncles, the chachas, and you have other people, then again, not going against anyone. I have nothing but love for everyone. Right, where I need to go against youngsters, I go against youngsters. Where I need to go against the elders, I go against the elders, right, for the right reasons. Now what happens is that they start to look at them in an awkward way. Astaghfirullah, astaghfirullah, you have tattoos, you're not supposed to have tattoos. What are you doing in the masjid? Astaghfirullah, you have tattoos? Your salah doesn't even count. This poor soul who's coming inside the masjid to pray salah, to repent to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, you are closing all doors. وَسَعَى فِي خَرَابِهِ, I'm telling you. Right, closing all doors. Closing all doors and saying, you can't pray. Can't pray. No, we become our own, our own scholars, we become our own muftis. Say you can't pray yourself, you have tattoos, now you have to get rid of those tattoos, you don't get rid of those tattoos. See, who is telling you this? Who is teaching you this? Get rid of those tattoos, you don't get rid of those tattoos. As long as you have those tattoos, your salah does not get accepted. Now this person, poor soul, shaitan attacks him as well. And he says, you know what, I can't come to the masjid, my salah is not going to get accepted, so might as well not come to the masjid at all. وَسَعَى فِي خَرَابِهَا. Right, you are the one who is telling him to go away from the masjid. You are shutting the door. مَنَعَ مَسَاجِدَ اللَّهِ أَنْ يُذْكَرَ فِيهَا اسْمُهُ. Right. Little do we know. See, then again, we think just by praying salah, just by going for hajj, we are safe. Someone who comes inside the masjid with earrings, this person, let him be. فَاللَّهُ يَحْكُمُ فَاللَّهُ يَحْكُمُ بَيْنَهُم وَبَيْنَكُمْ. Like I said, leave their matters to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Don't judge anyone. They come to the masjid, this person, you have earrings? And someone said this to me, it's very sad. Someone said, I wanted to come to the masjid, but there were a few brothers who looked at me and, they know my past, and they said to me, you're back in the masjid? As if, they started taunting that, now you've realized? So my answers, and as my teachers, would say as well, when we reach the age, some of us, when we get to the age of 40, when we get to the age of 50, this is when we start to turn back to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Why? Because now we can see our white hair, right? Then we say, Ya Allah forgive us, Ya Allah forgive us, right? For 40 years, for 40 to nearly 45 years, we were living how we wanted to live our life, right? These people who are not that old, 20 years, 25 years of age, right? They've spent only 20 years of their lives. Let's say after they turn baligh, 8-9 years of their life in loss, right? And not knowing the truth. And now when they seek the truth, when they're looking for answers, right? So compare your 30 years of disobedience to their 9 years of disobedience. What is worse? Right? What is worse? We think our lives are better. Then again, I'm not judging anyone as well. I'm just saying don't judge others. Right? Don't judge others. I'm only saying this, and another incident happened, it's when I take this upon myself to mention that there was this one time this one person was running, one small boy was running in the masjid. One uncle gets up and he slaps him. This boy, he was already shy. He was going through a lot of problems in life. Because of that one slap, that boy said, you know what, from this day onwards, I will not come into the masjid. And he stopped coming into the masjid. See, little do we know, our own children can be talking into the masjid. Our own children can be talking in the masjid, but when someone else talks in the masjid, right, you slap him. You're afraid to slap your own son because you're afraid your own son might slap you. That's why you're afraid. You don't want to embarrass yourself, but you're ready to slap someone else's son. Whether it be, now then again, I'm not only talking about uncles, I'm talking about aunties too. This goes for everyone, right? So we really need to watch ourselves, right? Then again, coming back to this, the same, there are so many valuable lessons in the Quran. وَقَالَتِ الْيَهُودُ لَيْسَتِ النَّصَارَى عَلَى شَيْءٍ. Telling others, you're not correct, I'm not correct, I'm correct, you're not correct. What is meant for you is not meant for others. It is okay if your son talks, it's not okay if others talk. What you're doing is wrong. Leave the matter to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. First and foremost, if your son talks, don't take him to the masjid. The story that I was going to mention, sorry if this was, if I have prolonged this, the story that I was going to mention of masjid, the masajid being the house of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Once there was a king who said to his wife, if you don't leave, they had an argument, they had a quarrel, if you don't leave my kingdom before evening, you are free. Meaning talaq will take place and you are free. I have no need for you, right? If you don't leave my kingdom before evening. Now this person obviously wanted to do ruju'. The king wanted to do ruju'. He wanted to take his words back, right? But as we understand, there are certain things that you can't take back, right? Whether you are joking or you're not joking, they hold true to their meaning. His person wanted to take his words back, right? He said, this is nearly impossible. My kingdom is so vast. My kingdom is so big. It is nearly impossible for her to leave my kingdom before the evening, so talaq will take place. They asked a lot of scholars, will talaq take place? They said, yes, talaq will take place. Now this person was afraid. He's saying, now what do I do? Helpless, felt down, felt low. He asked another scholar, who happened to be Imam Yusuf rahimahullah, said, you are the last person, my last option. Everyone is telling me that talaq will take place. I need you to tell me something. I said to my wife, if she does not leave my kingdom with this vicinity, before the evening, talaq will take place. I have given her talaq. She is free. Imam Yusuf, subhanAllah, he said, are there any masajid? Is there a masjid in your kingdom? He said, yes, there is a masjid in my kingdom. So he said, the masjid is simple. The talaq will not take place. He said, how so? He said, look, take your wife, tell her to sit in the masjid until the evening. After the evening, tell her to come out. Talaq will not take place. He said, how? What's your daleel? He said, my daleel is from Quran. وَأَنَّ الْمَسَاجِدَ لِلَّهِ فَلَا تَدْعُوا مَعَ اللَّهِ أَحَدًا. Masajid, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala takes ownership of masajid. This masjid may be in your kingdom, but this masjid does not belong to you. You are not the owner of this masjid. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is the owner of that masjid. So, put her in the masjid. The masjid is not your milkiyah. The masjid is not your kingdom. Leave her in the masjid in the evening. Bring her out. Talaq will not take place. Right? Now, so then again, these people questioned that. They were a little shocked as to why the qibla was changed. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala responds by saying, وَلِلَّهِ الْمَشْرِقُ, the next ayah, وَلِلَّهِ الْمَشْرِقُ وَالْمَغْرِبُ فَأَيْنَمَا تُوَلُّوا فَثَمَّ وَجْهُ اللَّهِ إِنَّ اللَّهَ وَاسِعٌ عَلِيمٌ. You talk about one direction. You talk about, hopefully the youngsters don't, I'm not talking about the other direction. I'm talking about this direction of Kaaba. I'm not talking about anything else, right? You talk about this direction of Kaaba, right? The Yahud are talking about one direction. They are talking about one direction, how they change their direction. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala clarifies. Don't think Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is only in this direction. Don't think when they were praying to Bayt al-Maqdis, towards Bayt al-Maqdis, right, in that direction. Don't think Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is only there. وَلِلَّهِ الْمَشْرِقُ وَالْمَغْرِبُ. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is the owner of all directions. Whether you're talking about north, south, east, west. فَأَيْنَمَا تُوَلُّوا فَثَمَّ وَجْهَ اللَّهِ. Wherever you go, you will find the direction of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Then in the upcoming ayahs, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala clarifies this as well. وَقَالُوا اتَّخَذَ اللَّهُ وَلَدَهُ سُبْحَانَهُ بَلْ لَهُ مَا فِي السَّمَاوَاتِ وَالْأَرْضِ كُلٌّ لَهُ قَانِتُونَ. All are obedient to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala clarifies this in the next few ayahs. The Yahud used to say, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has taken Uzair alayhi salam. They would say Uzair alayhi salam is the son of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Nasara used to say, Isa alayhi salam is the son of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, how could this be possible? Right? And not only this, the Nasara used to say, Malaika are the daughters of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So then again, in the next few ayahs, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gives clarifications that there is no one else. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has no son. Right? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is alone. All are slaves of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. They are obedient to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Now in the next ruku, now we have covered pretty much most of the discussion that takes place in this juz regarding Bani Israel. The next set of ayahs will cover the discussion of Ibrahim alayhi salam. This, inshallah, we will also discuss later on. Right? As I mentioned earlier, there are a few ayahs in Surah Baqarah that talk about Jannah, they talk about punishment, but we will not discuss them. Right? We will not discuss them, inshallah. We will discuss them later on. As I mentioned earlier as well, the story of Adam alayhi salam with full details, inshallah, we will mention later on. Other stories we'll mention later on. Right? Just one ayah now, inshallah, before we end our just one ayah I wanted to touch upon and go into this. Ayah number 138. Ayah number 138. See, then again, even this ayah number 123, talking about Yaqub alayhi salam. أم كنتم شهداء إذ حضر يعقوب الموت إذ قال لبنيه ما تعبدون من بعدي. When Yaqub alayhi salam asked his sons, who are you going to worship after me? Right? Even the story of Yaqub alayhi salam, the story of Ibrahim alayhi salam, do not be alarmed. Inshallah, we will cover in full details later on. However, the ayah that I wanted to cover was this last ayah. It is on the last page, ayah number 138. صبغة الله ومن أحسن من الله صبغة ونحن له عابدون. Now, Nasara, they had one ritual. What was their ritual? Their ritual was they would, on the 7th day after the baby was born, whether it be a boy or a girl, they would color water, or they would make a dye in which they would soak this baby, where they would bathe and cleanse this baby, clean this baby, then they would take him out. Thereafter they would say, now he is a Nasrani, right? And they would say he is a Nasrani, we have cleaned him and we have dyed him in this dye, in this color. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala responds by saying, صبغة الله ومن أحسن من الله صبغة. Right? The effect of that water, then again, not doing word for word translation, right? Elaborating. The effect of that water in which you bathe your children in, the effect of that will go away. But the effects of following Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala are everlasting. وَمَنْ أَحْسَنُ مِنَ اللَّهِ صِبْغًا وَنَحْنُ لَهُ عَابِدُونَ. The effects, you turn, and subhanAllah, and we can see this, honestly. By Allah, we can see this, and we are live examples of this. Some of us, we may think that, and we may, you can honestly examine yourself, analyze yourself as well. Now, look at your life before you had Quran in your life. Look at your life before sujood. Look at the time when you were living in Jahiliyyah, right? A time of ignorance, when you were away from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, you were away from deen, you didn't have much happiness in your life. You didn't have too many things. But the moment you started reciting Quran, the moment you chose to follow this deen, the moment you chose to adapt to the ways of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, the moment you chose to emulate Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, your life became fruitful. As Umar radiallahu anhu used to say, وَلَقَدْ كُنَّا أَذِلَّهِ. Now he said this after Bayt al-Maqdis was conquered. وَلَقَدْ كُنَّا أَذِلَّهِ, saying to the Muslims, addressing the Muslims, وَلَقَدْ قُلْنَا أَذِلَّا. O my people, we were disgraced. وَلَقَدْ كُنَّا أَذِلَّا. We were disgraced. فَأَعَزَّنَا اللَّهُ بِالْإِسْلَامِ. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala honored us through Islam. Umar radiallahu anhu used to say upon one occasion, he started crying. People questioned, why are you crying, Ya Umar? He said there was a time, before embracing Islam, there was a time, now my father, he used to take care of camels. On one occasion, my father said, Ya Umar, these are 5 camels. I want you to take care of them. I want you to take care of them. He said, I would align these camels. I would make sure that these camels were straight in one line. Straight, they were straight as an arrow. I would go to the front, the first one, the last one would turn away. I would go to the last one, the first one would turn away. This is before Islam. After embracing Islam, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given me the responsibility of the entire ummah by making me Amir al-Mu'mineen. Right? So this honor that we have today, my dear respected brothers and sisters, this dignity, this honor, this luxury that we live in, who has given us this? Who has given us this? Right? We are able to see today, the car that we drive today, it is not because of our own effort. Right? As Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala clarifies this as well, وَمِمَّا رَزَقْنَاهُمْ يُنْفِقُونَ. You only spend from that which we have given you. Right? We are living today in honor. We are living today literally in honor because we have Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala on our sides. And as the famous saying goes, Man wajad Allah, you find Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, wajada kulla shay. By Allah, you have, the entire world can go against you. You have Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala with you. You have everyone with you. The entire world can be with you. You have Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala against you. By Allah, everyone is against you. Man wajad Allah, wajada kulla shay. You find Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, you have found everything in life. Everything that you were ever looking for. Peace, luxury, sanction, whatever you were looking for, you have it. Luxury, wealth, everything. وَمَنْ فَقُدَ اللَّهِ. He who loses Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, فَقُدَ كُلَّ شَيْءٍ. You have truly lost everyone and everything. Right? So may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give us the understanding of what has been heard and said. Inshallah, our goal is to do one hadith a day, inshallah. Now, as we understand, we are in this ashara, we are in this ashara, the first 10 days of mercy. So I will inshallah mention a hadith pertaining to mercy. A beautiful hadith. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, as it goes in hadith, Ar-Rahimun yarhamuhum ar-Rahman. Right? Ar-Rahimun yarhamuhum ar-Rahman. And subhanAllah, look at this. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has not used Ar-Rahimun yarhamuhum Allah. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has used the word Rahman. Ar-Rahimun yarhamuhum ar-Rahman. Not Allah, right? Then again, just looking at the meaning, right? Ar-Rahman has mercy on those who have mercy on others. Right? Then again, this is the mercy of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, not using the word of Allah. Allah ta'ala has not used the word of Allah. Right? Then again, not comparing the two. Okay, just understanding so we understand what is going on. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying, Ar-Rahimun, that's what He said. Yarhamuhum Allah. Right? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has mercy on those who have mercy on others. Irhamu man fil ard. Have mercy on the civilians of this earth. Your children, your neighbors, your families, your father, your mother, siblings, etc. Irhamu man fil ard, mercy on the civilians of this earth, and then what will happen? This is your prize. This is your reward. Yarhamukum man fis sama, the one who's in the skies will have mercy on you. Right? Irhamu man fil ard, have mercy on the civilians of this earth, citizens of this earth. يَرْحَمُكُمْ مَنْ فِي السَّمَاءِ, the one who's in the skies will have mercy on you. Right? And the one who's in the skies, He is the most merciful. None other than Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So, my dear respected brothers and sisters, may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give us the understanding of what has been heard and said. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala also enable us to emulate Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam to absolute perfection. And please forgive me if I had said something which offended anyone. This was only to rectify ourselves, to correct ourselves, right? Al-mu'minu mir'atul mu'min, right? To correct ourselves. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala help us. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala enable us to tread this path with ease. Ameen. Jazakallahu khairan for your time. Inshallah, tomorrow we will commence from surah, from second juz, Sayaqulu Sufaha. We will start from here tomorrow, inshallah. Now, I thank you for your time. Jazakallahu khairan for your time, for your attendance. Please let others know as well of this tafsir. There are other tafsir programs going on as well. Apijani is doing her Urdu tafsir. Alhamdulillah, Hazrat Ji, Sheikh Saab Damat Barakatuh is doing his program as well, conducting his program as well. There are multiple programs going on, multiple workshops going on. Please try your best to attend them as well. Once again, Jazakallahu khairan for your time. Subhana rabbika rabbil izzati amma yasifun, wa salamun ala al-mursaleen, walhamdulillahi rabbil alamin, wa akhiru da'wana alhamdulillahi rabbil alamin.